flight of stairs leads to the attic. The attic is unfinished, and the Overstreets use the space to store trunks of clothing between seasons. Another flight of stairs leads to a rooftop porch, known as the Widow's Walk. Typically, this outdoor vantage point was located in homes that faced the ocean. Wives used this spot to watch for the return of their husband's ship. Because many men were lost at sea, this porch became known as a Widow's Walk or Captain's Walk. We don't know where Tom got the idea for this observation point, but he used it to good advantage. Here are views from the Widow's Walk. During the farm's busiest years, Tom had nearly 5,000 acres of land, and he employed 15 hired hands to work the farm. Many of his workmen were illiterate and couldn't keep an accurate record of the hours they worked. From this height, Tom could oversee the farm and keep track of who was working and who wasn't. Now we're back downstairs on the first floor. This is Tom's room. All the furniture is original, including Tom's rocker and his Stetson hat. His long-stem pipes are on the dresser. The rocker in the corner belonged to Tom's first wife, Margaret. She died before this house was built, but the Kerr Center placed her rocker and her photograph here to commemorate what she meant to the family. Guests stayed in this downstairs room, or children could stay here if they were ill because it was closer to the parents' bedroom. Notice the two closets, one for guests and one for family. Now this room is the farm's gift shop. This is the dining room. Hired hands and the family ate the noontime meal here. The furniture is antique, though not original. The china is from the 1960s and was donated by the Kerr family. This sunroom was not part of the original home. Tom could not imagine having an outhouse in the house, so this room was built in 1930 as a back porch and primitive bathroom. The bathtub you saw upstairs was originally in this room. For more than 20 years, the family had to draw water for bathing and the toilet from the well outside. It wasn't until 1952, more than 50 years after the house was built, that Mrs. Overstreet had running water and electricity installed in the home. The kitchen was modernized for the bed and breakfast operation. The reproductive electric cook stove stands where the wood-burning stove was. The pie safe cabinet and the butter churn are original. Mrs. Overstreet stored canned goods and prepared meals in this pantry area. She probably couldn't have imagined the convenience of using this modern microwave and dishwasher. The family drew water for the household from the well. The well is 30 feet deep. It was dug by hand and lined with rock. The well supplies cool, crystal-clear spring water. Farm families used a well as a natural refrigerator during the hot summers. Mrs. Overstreet put fresh eggs, milk, and butter in a bucket and lowered it down into the well to keep them cool. She also used the well house for washing eggs, straining milk, shelling peas and beans, and for other chores. Another source of water was this cistern. It's a large water basin that collects runoff water from the house during the rainy season. This water was used for non-household purposes, such as watering the livestock and garden, and women used it to wash their hair because the water was very soft. This fish pond isn't original, but it was added to create an inviting atmosphere for our visitors. The dinner bell signaled that meals were ready, and it could alert everyone of an emergency. The rock building is the potato house. Tom was a large-scale potato farmer, and he used this building to store potatoes until he had a wagon load. Then he'd take the potatoes by wagon to the Arkansas River nearby and load them on his flat-bottom boat for the trip to market at Fort Smith. The walls of the potato house are 18 inches thick, and they keep the inside temperature nearly the same throughout the year. This is very similar to a cellar, but with the advantage of being above ground. Tom also kept ice here. When the river froze, the hired hands cut out large chunks of ice and covered them with sawdust. The ice often lasted until early spring. This is a smokehouse where meat was smoked, cured, and stored. The storage area on the side was the wash house for Mrs. Overstreet. Inside the smokehouse, you can still smell the old-time smoke aroma from 100 years ago. Due to its wooden floor, Tom used a large metal kettle for burning the wood. He put the kettle on a rock platform and built a fire inside. The wood burned slowly and safely this way.